with ICE, new scrutiny of ICE and former abuses and what's going on at DHS. We've got oil prices surging because of Trump chaos. Let's just break it down. Let's just get into it. The tragedy surrounding the murder of Renee Good, um, you try to find some silver linings in there. You try to find something to hang your hat on that means that we're going to be okay. And it has absolutely led to increased scrutiny of abuses at ICE and the culture at DHS that led to this, because there have been a lot of questions asked surrounding this. There's so much wrong with what happened. Let's just get into some of the things that we're talking about here. For instance, Turkey Neck Kristi Noem just gave a briefing, and she stood at a podium. And what's the best way to put this? These people are morons. They are morons. This is a reality TV presidency is what it is. And, as I've told you over and over and over again, narratives are everything. And they have figured out that if they just keep throwing red meat to the base, that they could kind of just chug through these things. And this is what they're doing. So this is the new motto for DHS. It's kind of unbelievable. It really, not kind of, it is unbelievable. This is real, folks. This is real. I've got it from another angle if you need to see it. But yeah, Kristi Noem is standing at a podium giving a briefing day before yesterday. And this is DHS's new motto. One of ours, all of yours. You make of that what you will. It's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, you can tell they're having a culture problem at DHS. They really are having a culture problem there. The scrutiny is good. The scrutiny is a good thing. I mean, needless to say, it is a really, really good thing, because there has been a lot that's needed to be looked at, that's needed to be dug into. It is a mess over there. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Madam Relisa I love it. Madam Relisa de Files. I love it. Democratic Party, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. Tiger Claw, same to you. Thank you for supporting the show. I really appreciate you. But yeah, there's Constellas Holdings. Just to give you an example, Constellas Holdings is now being contracted to hunt. And we're going to talk about this in another show. We're going to dig into this one issue by itself in another show, because there's a lot to unpack with just this one thing. But Constellas Holdings, which is what Blackwater has morphed into. Blackwater doesn't exist anymore. It went through several different iterations, several different name changes. It's now Constellus Holdings. It's been bought up into this parent company. And yeah, they're contracting with DHS as headhunters, as bounty hunters. So not all of these agents that you see out there where people keep saying, hey, what the hell? That's not a federal agent. Look at that guy. He's wearing jeans. Yeah, they're contracting with private companies. You know, I was watching a video just the other day of retired Army Ranger talking about his time in Afghanistan and talking about he was at an ICE protest and he was talking about, I happen to know a little bit about the equipment. What the hell are these agents doing running around in plate carriers? This isn't Kandahar. I said law enforcement has the low visibility vests. You don't see, this is intentional. This is, again, narratives are everything. And we're finding out that, yeah, it's because we have mercenaries on the payroll for DHS running around, and in some cases arresting American citizens. I mean, it's not just immigrants that they're picking up. We're finding out over and over and over again, they're arresting American citizens. So yeah, we're going to have to dig into that one issue alone, mercenaries on the streets, because there are reports coming out. People are recording some of these agents and they're clearly not American. I watched a video yesterday where one of these guys just goes off on somebody that's filming him and accuses the guy of touching him. And the guy, was filming him from like 5 feet away. The agent runs up on him, clearly the thickest Central African accent you have ever heard in your life. This is not an American agent, but he's wearing, again, a plate carrier that says ICE on it. So yeah, that's just unfolding, just that one aspect of it. John Wallach, keep fighting the good fight. We needed our country back. Yeah, we're nailing it, brother. We're nailing it. All of this is just, this is good. All of this is just absolutely keeping the wind in our sails and pushing everything in the right direction. The more this comes out, the more infuriated people come. Gestapo, that is so good. That is so good. Mr. Will 73. Hey, Paul, here with you as always because of work, been watching on replay. Well, I'm glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here. Man, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. Man, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hitting this morning. But yeah, I do. Like I said, I've got this from another angle if you need to see it. This is real. This is really real. Their motto is now one of ours, all of yours. And that culture problem is permeating the entire agency. It is. I posted this on my social media the other day. Many of you have probably already seen this, but it is worth showing here in the show. This is what we're looking at with these agents. That just the attitude, the way they conduct themselves. I mean, is this an actual ICE agent, or is this guy a mercenary? I don't know. You don't know. We don't know.
Shame on you.
Listen, have y'all not learned from the past couple of days? Have you not learned?
Learned what? What's our lesson here? What do you want us to learn?
Following federal agents.
Give me my phone. Shame on you.
Listen.
I mean, I know the Renee Good murder I mean, everybody understands what a tragedy that is. I mean, but the fact that we're seeing more and more scrutiny is a really good thing. I mean, it is a really good thing that we are seeing this. We are finally getting the scrutiny on these people that we need. Cassie Lake, B5B, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. Texas Paul wearing black hat like my dad. Love from California. And God bless Minnesota, and Jesse Ventura speaking the truth. Yeah, Jesse Ventura did not hold back. The former wrestler, former governor of Minnesota, had some choice words calling us as we're now a third world country. Catherine Sophicatus, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show all the time. And yes, thank you folks that are gifting the memberships. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It got away from me. Somebody was just posting, thanking people for gifting memberships. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you folks. V-Man, I'd hate to be the general who has to plan the next Venezuela operation, a nation where 60% is covered by the Amazon rainforest. It's going to be a mess. Yeah, they're already reeling from Venezuela. We're going to talk about that in oil prices here in a little bit. But look, I'm about to play you a video. When I'm talking about there's renewed scrutiny, this happened last month, but it got no play out of beyond local news. This is Vancouver, Washington. This is just blowing up all over the internet. These abuses by ICE have been flying under the radar. They have not anymore. There are, and I want to tell you ahead of time, there are 2 of these videos. I'm going to play you one that is from a distance. I don't like to do shock videos. I don't. The one from a distance is enough for you to understand what's happening here. You're going to see a silver SUV driven by an ICE agent. They slowly drive over the leg of a detainee. And no, it does not look like an accident. If you go look at the second video, which is a close-up video, you can see it happen. They do it very slowly. They do it very, very slowly. And it is tough to watch. It is. Jane Walker, thanks for the support. I really appreciate you. Hollister 8109 is a strong liberal Gen X woman. These guys are showing me why MAGA women are so subservient. They have no trouble manhandling anyone. Yet we are not the same. We are not the same. Jordan B. Miller, thank you for always being here, Jordan. ICE doesn't have jurisdiction for pulling cars over or approaching people on the streets. Their jurisdiction is the Mexico border and the Canadian border and the coast. That you're right, 100%. If ICE approached me, my response is, sir, roll down your window. Fuck you. Do you have a warrant? That would be my response. You have no jurisdiction over me. Fuck you. Do you have a warrant? That would be my response. They have no jurisdiction over you. They do not. But this happened in Vancouver, Washington. And I do apologize. There is another video of that. Much closer if you would like to see it. It's shot from a vehicle that's behind them. And you can see it from the angle of behind the vehicle. That wasn't an accident. Those ICE agents they weren't unaware that when they had this guy down on his knees, that his legs were protruding out underneath the wheel of the vehicle that was behind them. They knew. They knew. Because they were standing there on both sides of them. They knew. They and that agent slowly, ever so slowly, creeps forward and drives over this man's leg. Gamer guy 65,887. Keep speaking truth to power, Texas Paul. We're entering unpredictable time with mercs on our streets. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. V-Man says they are subhuman. That's all I can say. This gets worse, folks. It really does. This gets worse. That was Jose Paniagua Calderon. They refused to cooperate. Vancouver PD tried to open an investigation. They didn't try real hard. The feds just refused to cooperate, so they dropped their investigation. But yeah, this really didn't get beyond local play in Vancouver, and now it is absolutely going viral nationwide. Jose Paniagua Calderon was the man that you saw there, taken into custody. And this is concentration camp Barbie. This is Tricia McLaughlin. Now, I want to touch on something here. I say this all the time. I do. I say this all the time. These people are going to do horrific things, but we are going to win because they are incompetent. Do you think concentration camp Barbie here has the skills to run a comms department for an agency, an organization the size of the Department of Human Services? I mean, really? I mean, do you really think she's qualified? Well, thank God she's not. This is what she had to say. She issued a statement. She said, false. ICE did not run over this illegal alien's leg. Don't believe your eyes. Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin wrote in an emailed statement Sunday, after ICE officers applied wrist restraints, Paniagua launched into an Oscar-level performance, dramatically screaming while officers simply moved his vehicle off the roadway. He walked around normally immediately after, yada, 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 yada. This is bullshit. You could see from the video I just showed you, he didn't walk around anywhere. They foisted him up by his arms and chucked him in the back of the vehicle. The other video, I'm telling you that is much closer, actually shows it happening. So yeah, the fact that she is completely inept at her job will work in our favor in the long run. Rock and Ron 77, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. We will win in the end, but they are going to do these horrible, horrible things, and they are going to lie about things you can see with your own eyes. Dave Barone, thanks for being here, brother. Thank you. And again, thank you for gifting all the memberships. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys. One second. I lost a comment there. There we go. Chandler Patton, thank you. I can't even form words right now. I know that is harder. That's why I'll be honest with you. I had the second video queued up. I really did. And I just deleted it. I'm still a human being. That's hard to watch. That is hard to watch. Richard Saman, 5689. My coffee is better than yours. Let's let up on these MAGAettes to take back what belongs to we the people. Amen. Amen. That is the truth, my friends. That is the truth. 5 p.m. somewhere. I was raised to never hate anyone. ICE agents have changed my mind. There is so much going on. And I have to tell you, Noam is a moron. She is dumb as a box of hair. She is. She is not a smart person. These things are absolutely going to play in our favor, especially after the midterms when we conduct they're going to haul her in front of committees, and she's going to have to try to answer questions that she cannot answer. And her stupidity is going to be on full display. I suspect she will probably resign quite abruptly after we win the midterms. Kimberly George, 7,300. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. But this is just like I said, it's just amplifying everywhere and going in different directions. Oh man, I'm plowing through that coffee today. And their stupidity does play in our favor. And when I say stupidity, I mean stupidity. It's also breaking this story is again something that just a few days ago nobody paid attention to it. It just kind of came out. One major source was all that picked it up, and it didn't really go anywhere. And then boom, over the last day or two, this is again going viral everywhere. Jordan Miller, I trust a garden gnome over Christy gnome. Yeah, no shit, man. Well said. But it turns out, you all remember Jonathan Ross and the footage that we saw of him walking around Renee Good's car, filming. You saw that. Well, there's a reason that happened. ICE agents have been ordered to film footage of arrests with their phones for the purpose of generating viral posts online. I can't stress to you how insane that is. That is why you saw this, and everybody I talked to in law enforcement, when I asked, when something happens like this, I don't try to be an expert. I ask people that know what they're talking about. I will email somebody that I know that is, a special agent. I will email somebody that I, or I will go talk directly to I want to get input from people that know what the hell they're talking about. And then boom, all over social media, you get a flood of FBI agents that are saying that was not what we teach. That is not what was supposed to be happening there. Why did he? And every one of them kept saying the same thing. Why the fuck does he have his cell phone in his hand? If he thinks that this is some sort of dangerous situation, why does he have a cell phone in his hand? That is insane. And they kept hitting on that and hitting on that and hitting on that. And I kept telling myself, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you. Thank you. They kept hitting on that and hitting on that. And I was like, yeah, but is it that big? Yeah. We know the guy's stupid. No, it's a big fucking deal. It is. It is. The agency has ordered these people to whip their phones out and film so they can turn the footage over. That's why he's got a cell phone in his hand, so that they can turn the footage over to their bosses, and their bosses are taking that footage and they're dressing it up. They've got some of the communications regarding this. The Post actually did a great job on this. Then they've got some of their communications there, the back and forth, where they're talking about what kind of music to dub to the background, to maximize this going viral. You got ICE video producer one saying, think country songs. This is Houston after all. They were talking about a specific video of arrest in Houston when they were talking about it. Emily Covington, ICE assistant director for public affairs, says, I feel like we need something a little bit more hardcore. They settled on the rap song NBHD Nick. The rap song by NBHD Nick, which his label would later tell the Post was used without permission, that starts, oh, you thought this was a game, huh? And there's so many avenues. Yes, that opens them up to civil suits. It does. They are actively, knowingly stealing people's music to dub over videos that they're telling their agents to go shoot. Now, let me tell you why that's such a big frickin' deal. Why that is so huge. George Allen, thanks for always being here, brother. Thank you for always supporting the show. I am truly grateful. Thank you. Ah, bingo. I love you folks. I love you folks. This is exactly where I was going. W. Trick. Shouldn't his phone be seized for evidence? How was it posted online? Did he post it or did the FBI? Bingo. I told you, these people are morons. They are morons. They don't know what they're doing. They don't. Do you think concentration camp Barbie, little younglet, Trisha McLaughlin, do you think she understands the legal ramifications of what she's doing in her job? No. This is why when Democrats run the government, the people that are in these posts are not young, pretty people. They're not. They're educated people. They're smart people. They're effective people. And pretty is way down on the list. Way down on the list. Not for the reality TV administration. They want the Barbie dolls out there that don't know what the fuck they're doing. And let me tell you why this is going to blow up in their face. This is now evidence. This is now evidence. When they told their agents to use their personal cell phones to film footage of their arrests, every one of their cell phones just became evidence. Every one of them. And more importantly, what's on them. That includes texts. That includes websites that you've been visiting, because one of the other stories that's kind of just blowing up everywhere, accusations are now being made that Jonathan Ross, they're saying he had a Grindr account, which I don't give a damn if he's gay or closeted gay or whatever. I don't care about that. But it's on his phone. And the account that they said that was his, that had an image of a guy that looks a lot like him. Yeah, it vanished. It got deleted. Along with his other social media. Just got deleted. That's evidence. You just deleted evidence. Are you seeing where I'm going there? Are you seeing how badly this blows up all over DHS because they're fucking stupid? Now, I tell you, folks, they get the fact that the narrative is everything. I say it over and over and over again. The narrative is everything. They get that. 5 p.m. somewhere, all these deadly vehicles moving means Walmart parking lots are war zones. I'm telling Jordan B. Miller, they don't care, but we do. Folks, this is huge. This is huge. This is the kind of thing that absolutely destroys them, because do you know what treasure troves of information are going to be in those phones? the racist texts, the bigoted texts, all of it is exculpatory evidence. All of it. All of it. And when they delete it, it's a felony. It's a felony. Jane in 1971, betting this $5 they will find CSAM on mini ice phones. Yup. And right now, and this is what I want to tell you, what is so freaking absolutely about this. McBastridge, looks like cell phones are getting added to my FOIA requests for payroll. Yep. This is what makes this so freaking just beautiful. Right now, DHS is telling these agents, I will bet my life on this, is telling these agents to delete shit off their phones. Because the people making those decisions are fucking stupid. They don't understand because they're so incompetent. They're so ignorant. They can't understand. They're telling these agents, get rid of all that damning shit. That's tampering with evidence. It is 100%. The doors that opens up legally is just, again, yeah. The Renee Good murder has been an absolute horrific tragedy. It is. It is. No way to slice it. But the scrutiny of DHS is a good thing that's coming from it. It is a good thing. It is. Shows state of mind and violation of regs. Yep. Because so many people, so many officers have said, why was he standing in front of that vehicle in the first place? Why did he ever twice walk in front of that vehicle? That breaks protocols. Well, the answer to that is he was told to film with his phone. That's the new protocol. Film with your phone. And even a half-assed defense attorney is going to just have a field day with this. DK Walk, premeditation motives will mean a lot at trial. Even deleted files can be recovered with computer forensics. Yep. I'm telling you, folks, I can't stress to you enough how much this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. Jordan B. Miller, it will amass the Trump Epstein files. Yes. 5 p.m. somewhere. Imagine the PTSD of Jay Ross for not emptying his. Yeah. Y'all are hard, man. Y'all are hard. Robin DeHood, what about the new ICE order to go door to door? Yeah, they don't have the jurisdiction to do it. They don't. They just don't. ICE's jurisdiction is 100 miles from the border, and the coasts count as a border. But it is limited. It is limited what their jurisdiction is. It is limited. They can't come into your house. They can't. You can tell them, no, show me a warrant. Make them pull that, oh, I have probable cause bullshit. Make them do it. You may win the lottery when they violate your civil rights. Piss them off, man. Piss them off. They'll do something stupid. But yeah, what's going on with DHS isn't the only incompetence that we're seeing right now. That is, we've been looking at oil price, and I've been telling you over and over again about your electric bills and what's causing that, and production is shutting down. Oil prices are continuing to plummet. Yeah, Trump changed that, and not in a good way. Not because the economy's taken off. No, oil prices spiked on Friday. Thursday, they started to creep up, and Friday, they took off. They took out Brent Crude is in the 60s again, folks. John Branch headed downtown Austin today to join the nationwide protest. Good. Glad to hear it, my brother. Glad to hear it. DJ Finesse. Okay, 2014, Dallas here. Will you please bring light to Keith Porter, who was killed by ICE on New Year's Eve in California? You know, that is one of the ones I read about. What he's taught. There's a young man that was just absolutely just murdered in LA. And again, it is one of the stories that is getting new scrutiny. It is. Silly Bebo. I need a cutesy. Come back with a warrant. Welcome, Matt. Yeah. Oh my God, I love you people. Melissa Grubb. They had Renee's license plate. They could have found her that way if she had broken a law, which she didn't. Yep. 100%. I'm getting screamed at in chat to tell you people never consent and take the fifth. Never consent and take the fifth. But yeah, this is really happening, folks. Oil prices are spiking. And this headline kind of talks about most of it. Concerns over Venezuelan supply and the uncertainty but there's more to it. There's a couple other things that are also adding to it. So let's dig into it. Starting with Iran. What's going on in Iran? If you haven't been following what's going on in Iran, Iran is in this may be it. This may be it. They've reached the point. They went from protests and complaints over the economy to a full-blown nationwide. People are thinking this may be the collapse of the government, and the government thinks this may be the collapse of the government. They've shut down all of the internet. They have been wholesale firing on protesters. We're getting reports that the hospitals in Iran are overflowing. The government has said 1,000 of their own security forces have been killed. We don't know how many of the protesters or civilians have been killed. We don't know. We just don't know. It's a black hole of information in Iran right now. The Inquisitive Prince 7095. At the end of the day, no matter what chaos this administration deflects to or creates, everybody shout out loud to release the entire Epstein files. That's not going away, folks. That is not going away. Democrats are working on that right now. They are working on that right now. They are. Congressman Garcia, that is his number one objective every day. That is what he works on. But it is bad. The UN has stepped in and issued a statement basically just begging the Iran government to stop slaughtering its own people. I'm telling you, folks, this has gotten bad. I mean, this is to the point where people are actually wondering, okay, is this it? Is this the end of it? But there's more than that. They're accused that this is going to move beyond that. Russia has just pulled its ambassadors and all of its embassy staff out of Israel. Literally just, it wasn't an organized, hey, let's start sending folks. No, it was everybody get on a plane now. It was that chaotic. Drop your shit and go to the airport was the order that Russia gave its embassy staff, families. It's pretty chaotic what's going on right now. So we've got Iran with thousands in every city now. It's spread to every city in Iran. You've got what was started out as economic protests, have grown into what they're calling full-fledged revolution. And people are saying, we don't know if the government is going to survive this. They've gotten so desperate that, again, they're firing on their own citizens. Bruce Barrows, 1906. It's scary to think about the damage that can happen this year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for supporting the show, my friend. Kim, HR Guru, Trump would love to be Iran and pew pew protesters not protect them. Yeah, let's be real. And you're absolutely right about that. He is a sick man. He is a sick man. That's causing jitters in the oil market. Iran's oil supply, they're saying, we don't know, we don't know that we can actually count on it. And when I say this has gotten serious, I mean, it's gotten serious. Let me pull this up, see if I've still got this image for you. Let me see if I've still got it here. No, I sure don't. I sure don't. Let me pull it up off of social media, see if it's there. I'm sure it will be. Oh, even better. Video. Nope. Nope. That's a still. There are images of this on social media as well as the news, but just to give you some idea of how far things have gone. This is the Tehran tax office. It is now a burned out husk. The protesters literally just gutted it and set it on fire. I mean, this is serious, folks. And it's serious enough that, again, it's causing shocks in the oil market on top of what's going on with y'all remember the tanker? It didn't make a lot of sense. Why is this tanker first of all, why are they pursuing this tanker, this old reprobate tanker that suddenly painted a Russian flag on its side, and then Russia got involved and said, oh yeah, we're protecting that tanker. Yeah, it turns out that tanker was part of the Russian ghost fleet that we've talked about before. You remember the story about the internet cables getting broken in off the coast of Finland and Sweden, and them actually seizing one of the vessels that was part of the Russian ghost fleet for dragging its anchor over the internet and power cables? Yeah, that was same deal, same Russian ghost fleet. That tanker coming out of Venezuela was part of that ghost fleet. The oil industry has figured out that, they're not just going to go after that tanker. They're going after them wholesale. And the Trump administration has issued orders for the Coast Guard and the Navy to be going after these ghost fleet tankers. Susie Q, every move Trump makes or doesn't make benefits someone with money. So yeah, the oil industry is saying, okay, we're looking at a disruption in oil coming out of whether it's illicit oil or not, it's still oil. It's still going out onto the market. This is not happening. People are in full freak out mode in the industry about this. And this is the insane part about this. When I say they've literally issued orders to the Navy and the Coast Guard to start seizing these tankers wholesale. Russia's ghost fleet is the new target. And this really has people freaking out. And folks, these tankers cannot just be brought into our ports. They are in bad shape. They are in such piss poor shape that they don't meet regulations to come into our ports. There are regulations. Your ship must be in a certain condition before we'll allow you to come into our ports and offload. These tankers don't. Russia doesn't give a shit about that. They really don't. They slap a Band-Aid on it and keep it moving, man. We got to keep the money moving for the war. A lot of these tankers that they're seizing are a mess. And I mean, they literally part of the orders, and this is the part that just blows my freaking mind. This week, the Coast Guard issued a call for personnel to beef up its teams of inspectors who travel out to seize tankers, assess them, and fix safety concerns that might keep the vessels from being accepted at U.S. ports, according to the request. That's part of the orders. That's part of what they're prepping for. So to be clear, we're going to seize reprobate tankers that belong to the Russian Ghost Fleet. We're going to fix them. We're going to bring them into our ports and steal the oil. And then after they do that, they let the tankers go. They don't auction the tankers off. They just let them go. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking Russia's broke ass old ghost fleet and we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it in return for stealing their oil. Jordan B. Miller, the Iranian people are taking their country back. They are. It seems like it. We don't know exactly how far that's gotten. I've been hesitant to talk about it. So yeah, that's one of the things that's happening here is we're going to seize their tankers. We're going to steal the oil. Then we're going to fix the tankers so that we can steal the oil. And then we're going to cut it loose and Russia's going to have a fully functioning operating tanker that's on par with the tankers we allow to port at our ports. So yeah, that's happening. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. So you've got Iran and you've got the Russian Ghost Fleet. That oil is being yanked out of circulation. It's not going to make it to its ports. However long it takes us to get these ships repaired enough to come to one of our ports, that oil is not going to be available. So that's another thing. I mean, you've got Iran, you've got the Ghost Fleet. That's spiking oil prices. On top of this, Trump really does not understand the oil industry. He really does not understand that he cannot bully these people. Exxon has a saying. Their executives, they have a saying. Presidents come and go. Exxon is forever. They really say that, folks. They really say that in their own halls, their own executives. They tell their executives when they bring new executives on board. That's one of the things that they tell them. Presidents come and go. Exxon is forever. And Trump is trying to bully American oil companies, and it is just not working out. It is just not working out. He had a meeting on Friday where he told them, I need you to go in and invest $100 billion in Venezuela. And Exxon said, fuck you. No. That country is a, quote, uninvestable, unquote. They're not doing it. And one of the reasons that they gave Trump for not doing it, one of the reasons they gave Trump was oil prices. This makes no sense. We'll never recoup the money. We will never recoup the money. It won't happen. 1 second. Appreciate you being patient with me. A lot of these comments are just getting away from me. I'm trying to catch up. Jordan Miller, the Iranian, there you go. I'm back. I'm caught up now. Metal Rabbit says, great book about Iran, reading Lolita in Tehran. Good suggestion, my friend. Thank you. Ginger Red Shoes, black hat today, must be serious. Yeah, there's a lot going on that's just very serious. Stephen Leach, shadow fleet dragging anchor seized by the Swiss. Yeah. The Finns and the Swiss have been all over the Russian fleet. Jeremy Breeden, thank you for being here. Thank you for always supporting the show, my friend. Dismantling the Department of Education is how we prevent regime change here. That's the plan. Keep them stupid. Keep them stupid. But yeah, Trump wasn't really happy about that the oil company said no. So he's issued an executive order, which, again, it's not worth the paper it's printed on. It's like they've never read the Constitution. They don't know how any of this works. And he damn sure doesn't understand the oil industry and the way they will react. This is not something they're going to be cool about. Trump seeks to stop courts, creditors from seizing Venezuelan oil revenue in the U.S. What that's about is Venezuela has been slowly paying back American oil companies for shit that they seized. They didn't just seize their oil when they nationalized. They seized American companies' equipment when they did it. And they owe them for it. Legally, they do. When you nationalize a field, you have to pay back the company. We're going to talk about that here. There's something very relevant happening right now today in another country that's also driving oil prices up. We're going to talk about that in a second. But when you nationalize oil fields like that, you owe. If ConocoPhillips is pumping your oil, they own the pump jacks, not you. When you take them, you owe them for that equipment. You owe them for the transfer ports. You owe them for all of it. And Venezuela has been slowly paying it back. Trump issued an executive order saying, you can't do that. You can't get your money back. Sorry. If you won't invest where I tell you to invest, how I tell you to invest, I'm going to tell you, you can't have your money back. Which is not worth the paper it's written on. It's not. It's going to be laughed out of court. It is. It's just him trying to bully people that are never bullied. Ever. Ever. Greg Edmond, thank you for being here, brother. Oil companies know Venezuela is like Pandora, uninvestable. Folks, I'm telling you, they've already invested in Canada. They've already invested in Guyana. They've got other investments on the table that are much more lucrative than going headfirst into frickin' Venezuela. The Maduro regime still runs that country. They know better. They know better. So Trump is actually creating this chaos. This is the dangerous part right now. This is the dangerous part. For Trump to get the investment that he needs, because remember, Paul Singer's now bought Citgo. He's dumped $6 billion into this. His Manhattan Institute sugar daddy that funds all the DEI, CRT bullshit is now ass deep into Citgo refineries. And he needs that oil, man. So for Trump to get the oil he needs, oil prices have to come up. That order that they're going to suddenly start seizing Russian Ghost Fleet vessels starts making a lot more sense, doesn't it? Because you ask yourself, why would he do that? Why? Trump is now actively trying to raise oil prices, which is not going to help the economy, folks. It's not. Hollister 8109. Poor Donnie must be so bad he can't fill his new offshore bank accounts. Yeah, there's that too. I mean, that we're going to have to do. There's a whole show we can do on the shit that he's pulling about offshore. That is blatantly unconstitutional. Any revenues that come in have to go to the Treasury. And they have to be dispensed by Congress. That's in the Constitution. There are no offshore bank accounts that the president can hold to choose to take in revenue from Venezuela and just spend the money, which he is now trying to do, by the way. If you didn't know, That's been all over the news. But there's another shoe dropping. Okay, we've got Iran. We've got the ghost fleets that don't make any sense. That didn't make any sense until you realize, oh shit, Trump, in order to get companies into Venezuela, he's going to have to significantly raise the price of oil. It's going to have to be worth the gamble for them, because they told him on Friday, no. He very much humiliated himself. He was so humiliated, he got up from the table and walked and went and looked out the window. I mean, it was bad. I mean, it was bad. So that we've got those things. We've got Iran, the destabilization in Iran, which is causing jitters in the oil market. We've got the ghost fleets that they were counting on that oil. They were counting on it. The orders have gone out. Seize those tankers. Now that makes sense. He's got to raise oil prices, and seizing those tankers does that. Then Venezuela, no investment there. People are like, okay, we've got chaos in Venezuela. Nobody's moving. We're not going to get more oil out of Venezuela. If anything, the amount of oil pumped out of Venezuela is going to continue to deteriorate. The Venezuela situation also raises oil prices. And here's the fourth shoe to drop. Jordan B. Miller, oil companies are forcing Trump to use American taxpayer money to invest in Venezuela oil fields. All of this is just a chaotic mess right now. And you know what chaos does for markets? Jean-Matrie Trudeau, thank you for being here. Thank you. I'm assuming one of our Canadian friends watching from Quebec. Watching from Quebec, Canada. How come nobody in the military chain of command seemed to uphold their oath to the Constitution? That's alarming. Because when they took power, I told you they're they're removing our top military echelon officers and replacing them with sycophants that will do whatever they want. Morning Demon, he stood up because he had to load his diaper. Y'all are hardcore, man. Y'all are really hardcore. And yes, markets hate uncertainty. They do. They do. Clarence WD, this is the type of business management that led Trump into bankruptcies of casinos and hotels. Yes. Yes. And then there's this. Now, remember, Trump desperately needs oil prices to rise. We have sanctions on Russia. We have sanctions on Russia, sort of, because, like you have the ghost fleets and all these ways they've been skirting around that the EU governments have been going. The American government's been going. I didn't see that oil go by. Did you see any oil go by? I didn't see any oil go by. Well, all of a sudden, shit has gotten real. Trump needs oil prices to go up. He cannot get his grift pushed through without oil prices going up. So those sanctions on Russia just got very real. Just got very real. Matt, thank you. Higher oil prices also helps Russia and their war. It does. It does. Except for the sanctions on Russia are now becoming very, very real. And because of those sanctions, Iraq has moved to nationalize the West Kernatu oil field operations. Those are run by Lukoil, the Russian oil giant, Lukoil. Again, that situation where they've still been conducting business even though they've been sanctioned. It's again, how real were these sanctions? Lukoil have been running these oil fields in Iraq. And I got to tell you, West Kernatu, it is huge. It is one of Iraq's largest reserves. Let me pull up where we're talking about here, so you get an idea on the map where the West Kurna 2 reserves are. And ironically, these are the same oil fields that triggered Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait in the first place, back before the first Gulf War. Okay, this is Iraq. You probably haven't seen a map of Iraq in a while. You see Basra here, down in the south, and Kuwait down here. The West, all of this, see this water right here? The West Kurna 2 fields are right in this area down here, down south. Talking about a reserve of about 5 billion barrels of oil in this one field. And Iraq just nationalized it. They just, Lukoil declared force majeure, which is just a legal term that's written into contracts that says something happened, like a meteor hit the earth, something beyond anybody's control happened. Therefore, all bets are off with the contracts, and Lukoil packed its shit and left. Iraq's national oil company has taken over these fields. And the oil industry knows when that happens. And this just happened, folks. It just happened. Everybody knows when this happens, you've got a disruption of production. So yeah, you've got all those 4 things. The fact that these, the Russian oil that's been just flowing into the markets isn't going to be happening. They're going to see the ghost fleets. All of these things are forcing oil prices up, which was the one bright spot that we had. Inflation has been horrible. Energy bills have been horrible. Now, there is some good news to take out of this. Proud Texas liberal: people with dementia age backwards. Trump is mentally in the 1970s when the Godfather trilogy was box office gold. I saw an interesting video on that, by the way, about dementia. And a doctor was pointing out that when Trump talks, he's going a lot. About every 45 seconds to a minute when he speaks publicly, he'll be talking, and then all of a sudden he'll go. And the doctor was pointing out that is one of the things he looks for in his dementia patients, because one of the things that happens with dementia patients is they begin to lose control of the saliva situation in their mouth. And if they don't do that, they literally drool on themselves. So yeah, there are so many people. This is so chaotic. This is so out there. Rena Scott: Trump has 6 bankruptcies under his belt. Bankrupting the USA will make it 7. But yeah. George Allen: whoops, young lad, not lady, LOL. I don't understand. Did I make a mistake? Yeah. Bob Weir died. If you're a deadhead, you can see my Grateful Dead cup up there. Bob Weir died, one of the founding members of the Grateful Dead. That is a shame. That is a real shame. But yeah, watch oil prices on Monday, because they are just continuing to rise. And here's the thing: for oil companies to invest in Venezuela, bottom line, those prices have to come up significantly. And Trump desperately needs it. Paul Singer needs it. So yeah, watch. I'm getting a bit of Schadenfreude. out of it because, MAGA was all over social media the last week. Woo, look at those low oil prices. And I kept pointing out that's not a good thing. That means that everything that you get in savings from those low oil prices means that production is shut down. That means we're not getting natural gas, and that means your electric bills will keep going up. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens as these oil prices start to go back up. What happens with production? Do they keep gouging you over here on the electric, with the electric bills? We'll see. We'll see. Natural gas prices took a tumble. It's going to be interesting to watch. It really is. But more things have just been happening, one thing after another. We got a little schadenfreude for you from Texas here. We got a MAGA Texas sheriff down here in Hamilton, Texas. You've never heard of Hamilton, Texas. Most people in Texas have never heard of Hamilton, Texas. Can we get an anime catgirl outfit for Christy before we jail her or afterward? I mean, you're terrible. You are terrible. But yeah, this is Jason Bradley Bolton, the MAGA sheriff of Hamilton, Texas, and he's in prison right now. He's in jail, not prison, awaiting trial. Yeah, this is in better days, and then this is today. This is today. Yeah. I just love it. I mean, it just enjoy a little end on a high note kind of thing. This is something, man. This is really something. You had a local coffee shop owner, right? This is how this happened. This is how this blew up in his face. Texas Rangers open an investigation because a local coffee shop owner meets a lady. All right. This is a hilarious story, how this blew up in their face. Meets a lady at a tire shop that she knows. And she says, man, you've lost a lot of weight. And the lady says, oh, yeah, I've been ordering this generic Ozempic online. And it's been helping me lose weight. And she said, I didn't know you could get it online. The lady's like, oh, yeah, I've been ordering it off the internet. So this lady that owns a company called Texas Coffee in Hamilton, Texas. George Allen, you missed my chat about Vietnam comparison to what it would be like in the Amazon. No, I read that. I did. I didn't miss it, George. I didn't. I got it. The U.S. is repairing those ships, and the EU countries can take those ships back to shore. Yeah. Love seeing someone in Trump orange jumpsuit. This is Hamilton, Texas. This is Hamilton, Texas. So this lady runs Texas Coffee. Her husband technically owns it, but he says he's got nothing to do with the business. This is her business. Give you an idea. This is Dallas, Fort Worth. Hamilton, Texas is just a little speck out here in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of nowhere. So she sees this friend at the tire store, right? Friend looks like she's lost a lot of weight. Asks her how, and she tells her about it. She gets a brilliant idea. I should sell these things at my coffee shop for people. And she orders a fuck ton of this stuff offline from different sources. Well, folks, don't do that. Don't take medicine that you buy from third-hand sketchy sources. I know medicine's expensive, but the shit she ordered turns out to be just that, shit. And it gets a lot of people sick. I mean, people end up in the ER, man. I mean, it really tore a lot of people up. Alaska Glass Lake. Hello from Central New York. Love the show. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So the sheriff, who's friends with these people, does nothing about it. See, folks, that's a felony. You can't do that. You can't take prescription medication and sell it. You're not a doctor. That's practicing medicine without a license. It's a felony. The sheriff sees this and says shit to nobody. Well, more people get sick and more people get sick. And eventually this gets beyond Hamilton. The Texas Rangers, which, by the way, the Texas Rangers are no joke, folks. That is the investigative arm of the Department of Public Safety. That's a real thing, man. I mean, that's not a TV thing. That is a real thing. Texas Rangers are a real thing. And when the Texas Rangers open up an investigation on it, these are no joke, really good investigators. They wanted to know why you didn't do your job. That was a felony. Why didn't you report that? That's crime number one. So we got to take a look at you and see what else you do. Turns out he's falsifying. You know, the folks that like pick trash up on the side of the road? Well, there are log books for how many hours you work in your community service. Turns out the sheriff's been doing a little side business, signing off on community service hours, writing off people's community service. Silly Bebo. That's like running a pill mill. Yep. This is who MAGA is, folks. These people that pretend to be superior to you, that think that they're the moral background of America, the good Christians. Yeah. He's facing several felony charges. Then he tried to cover everything up when the investigation started, which was a huge mistake because I promise you the Texas Rangers are much better at their investigations than some local sheriff, MAGA sycophant, suck-ass Trump sheriff is at covering them up. And they found everything. Oh, so yeah. You're MAGA people at work, man. New West Bill. With power comes stupidity. Oh my God. That's who these people are, man. That's who these people are. These MAGA people sit there and pretend to be superior. They pretend to be the good people, the hard-working people, this, that, and the other, ordering shit offline and selling it to your neighbors. I mean, come on, man. What kind of low immoral shit is that? And that was NATO. That was NATO that said that. Yeah. I did see that. And that is really happening, folks. Europe is not playing around. They said, if you make a move on Greenland, we will seize all your American bases in NATO territory and we will we will place them under NATO control. Metal Rabbit, as Bug would say, what a maroon. Bugs. Yep. But yeah, I mean, you just got to love it, man. You just got to love when reality comes home to roost for these MAGA pieces of shit. Jordan Miller, the only shock is Hot Wheels Abbott hasn't given the pardon yet. Oh, wait for it. This is MAGA we're talking about. So what's going to happen is this is going to go before him. This is Texas. This is going to go before a MAGA judge with a MAGA prosecutor, and they're going to plead all these felonies down to misdemeanors, and this guy's going to fucking walk. He's going to walk. You watch. That's Republicans in Texas for you. Sickening their neighbors, taking advantage of people in their own hometown, and they will get a walk for it. I promise you. But that's not the only thing that's going on. There's some crazy shit happening. Look, this has gone on for a while. This has been going on for a while. You know me. I don't like to do conspiracy theories. I don't. But the story here isn't the conspiracy theory. It's the fact that the conspiracy theory exists. All over the internet, there's been a conspiracy theory that has just keeps on going, man. It's like the Energizer Bunny about the killing of Charlie Kirk. Because it's blown up in their faces that this is not some left-winger that killed Charlie Kirk. So they've got to come up with an alternative theory. It can't be that it's just them. It's just one right-winger killed another right-winger because these right-wingers are even sicker than these right-wingers. That's a narrative that they can't wrap their head around. So they've come up with the governmental Israel, CIA, all got together to kill Charlie Kirk theory. That's really happening, folks. That's really happening. It is all over. If you can make your way into sick MAGA social media, that is really, really a thing. Big Gizmo 80. Did you hear Colorado Governor Polis is considering clemency for Tina P? I heard about that. It hasn't happened. So yeah, I've heard about it. That it's a rumor. Started by Barry Weiss at CBS, by the way. So yeah, I'm waiting to see something more real out of that. He made a statement that he thought the sentence 9 years was harsh. And it's just blown up. Barry Weiss over at CBS ran with it. It doesn't mean that she's going to get clemency. It doesn't. It might happen. It might happen because he did make the statement. He thought 9 years was too harsh, but it doesn't mean this is going to be happening. Jordan B. Miller, Charlie Kirk is rotting in hell. I would agree with you, sir. 5 p.m. somewhere. How can you be proud to be a Texan when your state approves this corruption? Where's the common sense? Because there are millions upon millions upon millions of Texans that are just like me, that are good people and do good things. I'm very proud of my home state. But yeah, this happened. They dug up an old CIA training video that, I shit you not, features Erica Kirk. And it's real. It's real. It is. Now it's what it is if you're not like living in MAGA crazy conspiracy land, it's an acting gig. It's an acting gig is what it is. It's a training video where they brought in actors to make a training video. But to the conspiracy people, Erica Kirk worked for the CIA. But yeah, I'll give you a little taste of the video. I've got it here. I mean, so it's real.
We have 5 major threats that make our grid extremely vulnerable that we've presented to congressional officials. 1 being cyber, 2 being hackers, 3 being physical threats, 4th one is solar EMP, and the 5th one is man-made EMP. So the concern that we have is that we put out this critical information, and when we go over this risk analysis, they hear what we're saying, but they don't want to take action.
Okay, so you get the idea, right? Erica Kirk's parents both worked in the intelligence community, which is what fed into the conspiracy theory to begin with. Now they've got a picture of her actually in the employ of the CIA doing a video that they 100%, she is acting. She is pretending to be a CIA analyst. But in their minds, she's a CIA analyst. And I got to tell you, I am just loving sitting here, eating popcorn, watching these nutters just go after So yeah, when you hear, I just wanted you to be aware when you hear that Erica Kirk is actually the CIA, working with the CIA, and they're working with Mossad, and Israel killed Charlie Kirk. You know. Crafty Ash Gardner, MAGA, offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, and completely, willfully, entirely uninformed. Well said. Well said. That's, I mean, I'm sorry. I saw that and I laughed my ass off, folks. I hope that makes, I really hope that you enjoy that as much as I did, because they really are losing their shit over in MAGA land. They really are. I mean, Erica Kirk worked for the CIA. I can see it with my own eyes. She was an analyst. Look at her. She's an EMP expert. Oh my God. Oh my God. The gift that keeps on giving, MAGA stupidity. Jordan B. Miller, how did Erica Kirk not win a FIFA Peace Prize for her acting? No shit, man. Oh my God, Mick Bashes. Stop it. There are no MAGA in hell. I have a nice beachfront property and we have standards. Oh my God, you people crack me up. But this also happened. Look, this is serious though. Trump has been doing everything he can. And this is one of the things, let me grab the fact bet real quick. This is one of those things where I tell you, when we take power, I am fighting every way I can. Every Democrat I talk to, I am telling them they cannot go back on the high road. They can't. They just can't. Republicans sat back and they have watched this happen. They have watched Trump do this. We must engage in the same type of behavior until Republicans are so begging us to stop that they're willing to pass legislation to stop this shit from happening. And what I'm talking about is Trump has been specifically targeting blue states. He's been holding up funding. He's been, bullshit fake. The reason Renee Good was murdered was because these ICE agents were put into Minnesota, not because there's an issue, not because there's a problem. They were put there because they want to cause disruptions in a blue area. Because they think politically, if they can lower the standard of living in our areas, it'll help them. They're that bad of people. We are not the same, folks. We are not the same. Linda Orndorff, that is part of Candace Owens' conspiracy murder plot. Well, what is scary is the millions of people who follow Candace Owens. Oh yeah, they are into this, man. They are into this. They are. But you saw what Trump did. You saw this GOP-produced pimple-faced kid and his bullshit just got totally destroyed. His going and knocking on daycare doors, claiming there was fraud. Then there's no fraud there. I mean, they just one thing after another, just totally ripped this kid apart. And it was bullshit, but it was put out. He was supported by Turning Point USA and the local GOP were doing this with him to trigger what happened next, which is the ICE agents being poured into Minnesota to harass people, to try to make life shitty because the Republicans think it will benefit them. The other thing that happened is they tried to cut off funding. You saw that in Colorado. They've been trying to cut off funding in Colorado because he won't free Tina Peters. They're doing it in Minnesota also. They're doing it in New York. They're doing it in California. They're cutting off funding any way they can. And this whole bullshit zero evidence video they used as an excuse to cut off funding for daycares. Well, a federal judge just stepped in and said, no, that funding will continue to flow. It will continue to flow. If you've got an argument to make it here in court, but you are not going to arbitrarily just cut off funding from Democratic states. That is unconstitutional. You will not do it. So yeah, I keep telling you, they're going to do awful shit. They are. They're going to do awful shit. They're going to low road this shit. And when we take power back, we have to do this to blue states. We do. We have to do the same shit. Move military bases out. Or we've got to do this to red states. Pardon me. We've got to do this to red states. We have got to choke them until Republicans want to pass legislation to make sure that this shit never happens again. No high road bullshit. No just shrugging it off and saying, oh, that was a bad thing. We don't do that. We're better people. No. We're going to do to you exactly what you did to us until you beg us to stop. And you propose legislation. You propose the constitutional amendments to make sure it does not happen again. Because I'm not playing this fucking game anymore. I'm not playing the debt ceiling game. None of it. They want to hurt people because they think it gives them political gain. Fine, let's show them what it's like to get hurt. Let's do it till they never want to back another Trump again. Silly Bebo, Nick Shirley is why Walz is back down and why Renee Good is gone. I wouldn't give him credit for Walz. I wouldn't, but he is directly responsible for the death of Renee Good. It was his bullshit that triggered these ICE agents being put on the ground. Nicodemus met. Hey there, bit of support from the EU. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Our European audience, I am so glad you are here. I am. Your input is so incredibly important. It really is. It's good to get views from folks that aren't in our own backyard so that we can, I can't tell you how valuable that is. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to leave that question with you folks. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm telling every Democrat. No high road. No go back to proving that, oh, we're better at governing. We don't do shit like that. No, we're going to do shit like that. You did it. We're going to do it. You gerrymander. We're going to gerrymander. News out of Virginia, by the way, they're talking about absolutely 100% before the completely gerrymandered. I mean, there's just, I mean, it's what we have to do. Give them a taste of the shit they pull. Veggie Owl Girl, what is going on with Walmart? I have no idea what's going on with Walmart. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what's going on with Walmart. Metal Rabbit, the GOP aided and abetted, prosecute them. That is the thing, folks. That is the thing. They keep doing things that make it easy to prosecute them. Because they're so imbecilic. They're so stupid. When you told those agents to get you viral video footage, to use their personal cell phones, you made that phone evidence and everything that's on it. And if you delete it, that's a felony. If you tell them to delete it, that's a felony. Dick Ola 100, prosecutors will have a field day once this regime falls. Exactly. And as much as I would like to get back to normalcy, we can't do it. We can't do it this time. There's been a repeated cycle of Republicans come in, they do horrible shit. We come in after everything is horrible, fix it, things get good, and then Republicans, people with the memories of goldfish reelect Republicans because of the bullshit that they say and do the horrible shit all over again. We've got to break that cycle. We have got to break that cycle. I mean, we cannot go back on the high road. We cannot. I know it's what we do, but we've got to embrace our inner demons. Metal Rabbit 13. Matto said Walmart may pull out of the U.S. market. That's a rumor. That they're not pulling out of the U.S. market. That is a rumor that's been going. Now I know what you're talking about. Walmart relies heavily on imports. The shit you buy at Walmart, overwhelmingly made in China, Indonesia, yada, yada, yada. Walmart is getting killed by the tariffs. So they float a rumor that they're going to pull out of the U.S. market. Really? Really? Do you think any company is going to voluntarily move out of the U.S. market? Really? Or do you think Walmart's just going to use its power within the Republican Party to get these stupid fucking tariffs taken out? I mean, which do you think is more likely? Walmart packs up its shit, or Walmart uses its influence and money and billions upon billions of dollars to influence greedy ass Republicans to finally do something about these tariffs? Which is more likely? 5 p.m. somewhere. What goes around now needs to come around. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. No more high road. No more high road for me. Jordan B. Miller, Trump is moving classified files to Mar-a-Lago. That dude, I'm still betting on he doesn't survive his term. I really am. He just physically, every time I turn around and you'll see a doctor talking about, look at this, look what's happening. Every 45 seconds to a minute when he talks, they don't allow him to speak publicly anymore. They very much limit. I mean, did you see what happened the other day on Friday when he was talking about, when they had this meeting with the oil executives? Rubio slipped him a note that said, go back to Conoco, I think it said. Go back to Conoco, or no, go back to Chevron, I think it said. And Trump read it out loud. Oh, what does Marco Rubio have to say? And then he read that out loud, and all the reporters laughed. It was a simple note. Hey, man, go back to they've got more they want to add. And he's just gone. Bear Tracks, I'm a big fan of Texas. However, I think you mean one thing there, on thing. However, one thing, take care about saying how different we are from MAGAs. This is a pathway towards a Czechoslovakia-like future. I am not concerned about that. I am not, because my goal isn't to divide the country. My goal is to dominate MAGA, and we will. Even here in the state of Texas, it's an apathy state. There are more people. When it comes to nut cutting time, there are more of us than there are of them, even in Texas. That's not a fear. Santista 211, Walmart is part of the U.S. and they will not leave the U.S. market since that is the biggest market for them. I know it's craziness that, that's even being talked. That's why I was like, what are you talking about with Walmart? I dismissed that out of hand. Julia Simpson, I saw a press conference rally by Black people who were speaking out against the murder of Renee Good. I was proud of them. Everybody is speaking out about this. Everybody. Kate Marinite, Amazon is in the same boat. Yep. 100%. Linda Orndorff, There are fake Maddow videos going around YouTube. Okay, let's talk about that last. That we'll make that the last thing we talk about. I want to talk about deep fakes. Do y'all know who Brian Cox is? One second. Let me get you. Let me get a good image of Brian Cox. And Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is something that's just been really bothering me. If you're kind of a science geek, you'll know who Brian Cox is. This is Brian Cox. He's a British scientist. He's one of the smartest men in the world. There are deep fakes going around. The nutters, the flat earthers. We had a comet fly by. They did a deep fake. It was actually very alarming. It was a 30-minute video. It was not Brian Cox. It was an AI generated image of him saying shit that he would never say. So that this YouTube page could get clicks, scaring the living shit out of people. Then there's Neil deGrasse Tyson the other day actually had to make a video where he's holding up a phone and you're seeing him talking about he's reconsidered the whole flat earth thing. And this is the evidence why. And then he pulls it away and says, that's not me. That's a deep fake. I never said this. This is bullshit. Y'all know Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? I mean, kind of famous. Yeah. This is happening everywhere. Everywhere. They're doing it with Maddow. And it is not long before they start doing it with people like me, like Midas, like Brando or Heather Cox Richardson, or they simply just, if you see something that looks out of character, just assume it's a deep fake. Just assume it's a deep fake. Because I'm telling you right now, this is part of the Republican strategy going into 2028, is they intend to use deep fakes a lot. That's why they're fighting legislation so hard right now. Yes, they did it to Rick Wilson. Rick Wilson had to actually sue some people to get some videos taken down. They had Rick Wilson saying just crazy pro-MAGA shit in deep fakes. I mean, they're everywhere, folks. Any idiot can make them. You don't have to be really skilled to make one of these. AI will do it for you. And this is why the Republicans have been fighting so hard to prevent the regulation of AI, because they very much, this is one of the facets. I keep telling people are like, oh, they're not going to let us vote. I'm like, no, they're going to let us vote. We're going to vote. We're going to have the elections. They're just going to cheat. They always cheat. Limiting access to voting machines so that in Democratic areas, the line to vote, it's an hour to 2 hours long, 4 hours, however long it takes to vote. But in Republican areas, red areas like where I live, I've never had to wait to vote, ever had to wait to vote, ever. Walk in, hand over the ID, handed my ballot, go right in. The signature match bullshit, the private nonprofits out there challenging people's voter registrations so that when you show up to vote, you're not registered anymore and you have to fill out a provisional ballot so that for your vote to count, not only do you have to show up on election day and vote, but then you have to go afterwards and cure your ballot with your local county registrar. They're going to do it all, but deep fakes is going to be a huge part of it. And you already have people using my image. They're downloading my videos, creating fake pages, trying to tell people, come to Telegraph. And then they, I'm not on Telegram. Come to Telegram. I'm not on Telegram. And if you see somebody saying shit, there was an entire, it took me months of fighting with Meta to get a fake account taken down that had almost 70,000 followers that was using my image and posting blatantly MAGA bullshit. Folks, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be something we're going to have to be prepared to fight. Metal Rabbit, there need to be false light suits. Fuck AI. Yeah, AI is horrible. It is horrible. I can't wait for that bubble to burst. It is horrible. It is worthless. Nothing but porn bullshit is all it is. Crime and porn is all AI is good for. Maddow, David Frum, George Will, even Obama. Yeah, there have been deep fakes of just about everybody. New West Bill, they are not perfect and there are ways to spot them, but they are getting better and better. Scary. They are. The one that I saw of Brian Cox, it was almost 10 minutes in before the audio sync fucked up. And I could tell, man, this don't sound like Brian Cox. This doesn't. But then it was kind of good enough to where I actually watched it. I knew it was bullshit by halfway through, but it took a long time. Anyways, folks, this is what I've got for you today. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you supporting the show. I hope what we've talked about is useful to you. Stay fired up. We got a lot to do, a lot of work to do, and fuck ICE, man. Fuck ICE. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.